So what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Oak Tree Football channel. The second and third round of the 2020 NFL Draft was last night, so I just decided that I'll do a quick recap of what happened and some of my thoughts on the picks, so let's get right into it. Pick number 33, the Bengals took wide receiver T. Higgins. I think an offensive tackle would have been a better pick, but they couldn't resist on getting T. Higgins. He's one of the best receivers in the draft. Pick 34, the Colts took receiver Michael Pittman from USC. They needed a wide receiver, but I think there were better they could have taken, but Pittman is still a very, very talented player. Pick 35, Lions took DeAndre Swift from Georgia. This was a really good pick, and I think there's a possibility that DeAndre Swift will be the starter next season, and I think he'll get a lot of carries taking turns with Kerryon Johnson. Pick 36, the Giants took Xavier McKinney, the safety from Alabama. He's a great player, and he should fit really well with the Giants. This was a really good pick by them. So, yeah, it was a great pick. Pick 37, Patriots took Kyle Duggar, the safety. I think there was better safeties available, but the Patriots needed a safety, so it was still a solid pick. Next, the Panthers took Yetur Gross-Matos, the edge rusher from Penn State. He was a first-round talent, I think, and this was a great pick by Carolina. He'll be a big help, and he'll probably start. I would think next season he'll bring pressure immediately. I think he'll be a big part of their defensive line next season. Pick 39, the Dolphins took Robert Hunt, the offensive tackle. Yeah, it was a really good pick. They needed offensive line, and they got their second of the draft, so it was a really good pick. Pick 40, Texans took Ross Blacklock, the defensive tackle. This was a really good pickup. I think he should have been a late first-round talent, and he could be good for Houston. He'll probably get some playing time this season. Pick 41, the Colts traded up 3 spots to get Jonathan Taylor, the running back from Wisconsin. Taylor's a top running back in the class. He's really talented, and he should get some good playing time this year. And I think this was an interesting pick because I think there were bigger positions of need. Like, I think they should have gotten a quarterback, like a backup. But still, this was a good pick. Pick 42, the Jaguars got Laviska Shenault, the wide receiver from Colorado. I had this pick in my mock draft, and it's a really good pick. The Jags are giving Minshew a top wide receiver who can also help out in the backfield if they want to give him some carries. Pick 43, the Bears took tight end Cole Kmet from Notre Dame. He's by far the best tight end in the draft, I think. This was an okay pick by the Bears because now they have 10 tight ends on the roster, which is a bit weird that they took him over some other positions of need. But still, Cole Kmet is a first-round talent, I think, and this was a good pick. Pick 44, the Browns drafted Grant Delpit, the safety from LSU. After they traded down, they still get the player I think they wanted. I had this pick in my mock draft also. I think they wanted a safety, and Delpit is one of the best in this year's draft, so that was a very, very good pick. Pick 45, the Buccaneers took Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety from Minnesota. I was surprised it wasn't a running back, but still great pick by Tampa Bay. Winfield is one of my top 3 safeties this year. I don't really have the top 3 ranked. It's Winfield, Delpit, and McKinney. Those are my top 3 safeties. Winfield's one of them. That's a great pick. 46 Broncos to KJ Hamler, wide receiver from Penn State. I was also surprised they doubled up on wide receiver, but it was still an okay pick. But I think it would have been better if they took a bigger position of need. But I think their offense can be really, really good next season, especially with Cortland Sutton, and they took Jerry Jeudy yesterday, of course. Now KJ Hamler, they signed Melvin Gordon. Drew Lock is going into his second season. I expect him to play well. They could be good on offense next season. Pick 47, the Falcons took Marlon Davidson, the edge rusher from Auburn. There were better edges available, I think, but really needed that position. I think it was a solid pick by the Falcons. Pick 48, the Steelers took Darrell Taylor. The Seahawks took Darrell Taylor, the edge rusher from Tennessee. Not the best pick, but definitely not a bad pick. There was some, like I said, there were some other good edge rushers available, but not a bad pick. 49, the Steelers took wide receiver Chase Claypool. They're giving Big Ben another target. Claypool's a great receiver. He's one of my favorites in the draft. I think the Steelers will have a really good offense next season. They're really focusing on offense in this draft since they already have a top defense, which I think is smart. Claypool is going to be a really good target, and I think Big Ben's going to like throwing to him. Pick 50, Bears take Jalen Johnson, the cornerback from Utah. This was a great pick. Johnson's a first-round talent. He's one of my favorite cornerbacks in this draft. He's like my third or fourth best cornerback. So that they got him at pick 50 is really, really good, especially that they needed cornerback, so that was a good pick. Pick 51, the Cowboys also took cornerback. They took Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is also I really like Trayvon Diggs. He's either my third or fourth best cornerback. This was a really good pick for the Cowboys. They only had 7 interceptions last year, and then they lost Byron Jones, their number 1 cornerback. So Trayvon Diggs will probably get a lot of playing time, and he'll probably actually start some games this season. Pick 52, the Rams got Cam Akers, the running back from Florida. I think with a better offensive line, Akers would have been ranked one of the best running backs in this class. He already is ranked one of the best, but I think he could have been ranked top 3, maybe 4th or something. But I really like Cam Akers. He's a good replacement for Todd Gurley. And he really, I am a huge fan of Cam Akers. I think he's one of the best running backs in this draft, and I think this was a really, really good pick by the Rams. Pick 53. I don't know what I think about this pick. It was the Eagles taking Jalen Hurts, the quarterback from Oklahoma. As an Eagles fan, I really don't know what to say about this pick. I mean, I understand that they got a backup, but it doesn't make sense that they got it in the second with bigger holes to fill linebacker and secondary. And I noticed they can't rely on Wentz to stay healthy, especially in big games. But then why would you give him a huge contract extension? They just extended him through 2024. He's 26 years old. This pick does not make any sense. If Wentz's contract was ending soon, I would be fine with this pick. But the fact that they just gave him a huge contract, it really does not make sense. Pick 54, the Bills took A.J. Epinesa. Epinesa, I think, was a first-round talent. Bills probably were very happy to get him at this point in the draft. He's a very good player, and he should probably play a lot this season. Pick 55, the Ravens took J.K. Dobbins. I was thinking they might take a wide receiver here, but I think J.K. Dobbins was too good to pass up on. I expected them to take a running back in one of the earlier rounds because Mark Ingram is 30 years old. They get one of the best running backs in this year's draft. And in the future, it's going to be J.K. Dobbins and Lamar Jackson is going to be the backfield for Baltimore. So that's going to be very good backfield if J.K. Dobbins can play well and Lamar Jackson can keep playing well. Pick 56, the Dolphins took Raekwon Davis from Alabama, the defensive tackle. I really like Raekwon Davis. I think this was a great pick by the Dolphins. Getting their second Alabama player of the draft. It was a really good pick, and I really like it. Pick 57, the Rams back on the clock, and they took Van Jefferson, the replacement for Brandon Cooks. Not sure if this was the best wide receiver, but I understand why they took him because he has great hands, and that's definitely why they took him, because of his hands. I think there was better wide receivers they could have taken, but it's still a solid pick. Pick 58, the Vikings took Ezra Cleveland, the tackle from Boise State. Cleveland is one of the best tackles in this year's draft, and the Vikings, I think it made a lot of sense that they got a tackle in the second round. They need to protect Kirk Cousins, and Ezra Cleveland is very talented. I could have seen him being a first-rounder, late first-rounder, but good pick by Minnesota. Pick 59, Denzel Mims to the Jets. This was a steal. Coming into the draft, most people expected Mims to be a late first-rounder. Somehow fell to the late second round. The Jets, this was a great pick for them because they took offensive line in the first round. Now they needed a wide receiver. They have one of the worst receiving corps in the NFL. Mims is going to be a big help next season, and I think he might have one of the biggest impacts for rookie wide receivers this season. Pick 60, the Patriots took Josh Uche, the linebacker. This pick made a lot of sense. They lost Kyle Van Noy. I think this will be their replacement for him. They traded with Baltimore to get this pick. It was interesting. There was better linebackers, possibly, I think, but Uche is still very good, and it was a solid pick for them. Pick 61, Titans to Christian Fulton. I was really surprised Christian Fulton was still available. I expected him to be long gone at this point, but Titans, there were other positions that they needed more, I think, but they really couldn't resist on Christian Fulton. So then with the 60th pick, the Packers took running back A.J. Dillon. The Packers had a very interesting draft. You'll see what I think of their third-round pick later. But the fact that first round they take a quarterback, second round they take a running back. I understand that Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are both on contract seasons, but still, like, they have lots of other big positions of need. Like, they were one game away from the Super Bowl last year, and instead of taking players that can help them immediately and possibly help them go to that Super Bowl, they're taking players that are for the future, which just really doesn't make much sense to me. Pick 31, Chiefs took linebacker Willie Gay Jr. This was a good pick, I think. I mean, I think it would have been better if the Chiefs took secondary, but still, Willie Gay is a really solid linebacker. And the Chiefs could use, like, an extra linebacker, so this pick was good. Pick 64, Panthers traded with the Seahawks and drafted Jeremy Chin, the safety. I like Chin. I mean, I think he's okay, but that was a good pick by the Panthers. Then with the 65th pick, in the first pick of the third round, the Bengals took Logan Wilson, the linebacker. I don't really know why they didn't take offensive tackle. Like, first round, they couldn't resist on taking T. Higgins, but second round, I'm surprised that they didn't take a offensive tackle. Next pick, 66, the Redskins took Antonio Gibson, wide receiver / running back. He's really good because he can play, of course, wide receiver and running back. He should fit well there. Next, the Lions took Julian Okwara. I really, really like Okwara. This was a really good pick by the Lions. It was a great draft by the Lions, really. Pick 68, the Jets took Ashton Davis. I really, really like Ashton Davis. I think he can be really good. So I'm happy with this pick for the Jets. Seahawks, with the 69th pick, of course, they got this from Carolina. And they drafted Damian Lewis to help out on the offensive line. That was a great decision because they need help on the offensive line. Next, Dolphins took Brandon Jones, the safety. I think there was better safeties, but still, this was a fine pick. Next, the Ravens took Justin Matabuke. This was a good pick. I just think they should have gone receiver because there were some good receivers. But Matabuke is still a really, really good player, so that was a good pick. Josh Jones was taken 72nd overall by the Cardinals. That was a steal of the draft. That Josh Jones fell to 72 because, so the Cardinals didn't take a tackle in the first round because they took Isaiah Simmons instead. They didn't have a second round pick, and then they took Josh Jones, who arguably is a first round talent, in the third round. That's a steal, and I think he might be a starter next season. That was a great pick for them. Next, the Jags took Devon Hamilton. They need help at D-tackle. Hamilton is solid. I don't know if he'll play at all. The Saints took Zach Bond at pick 74. They really needed linebacker, and Bond is really talented. I was surprised that he fell to the third round. 75, the Lions took Jonah Jackson, the guard from Ohio State. They need to protect Stafford. Jonah Jackson is actually really good. I really like him. Pick 76, the Bucks took Keyshawn Vaughn. I'm higher on Keyshawn Vaughn than most people. I really like him. I think this is a good pick for the Buccaneers. Next, the Broncos took Michael Ojemudia, the cornerback from Iowa. They really needed cornerback help. I was surprised they didn't take anyone in the second round, but still they get someone here. Atlanta Falcons took Matt Hennessy, the center, with the 78th pick. Matt Hennessy is really good, and I was a bit surprised that he was at this point in the draft. Next, at 79, the Jets took Jabari Zuniga. I really, really like Zuniga. I'm higher on him than most people are, so I think this was a really good pick. Next, back-to-back pick for the Raiders, number 80, they took receiver Lynn Bowden. I really, really like Bowden because he can throw, run, return. and of course catch. And then they took another receiver, Bryan Edwards, after that from South Carolina. I really like Bryan Edwards also. So 3 receivers in the first 3 rounds for the Raiders. I was a bit surprised by that. Next, the Cowboys took Neville Gallimore. I was surprised that Gallimore fell to this late in the 3rd round, so that was, I think, an easy pick for them. Next, the Broncos took Lloyd Cushenberry, the center from LSU. This is a good pick. It's a really good pick because they need to protect Drew Lock, so it was a good pick. Next, Terrell Lewis to the Rams. This was one of the best picks of the 3rd round because Terrell Lewis, you could argue he's a first-round talent. And at pick 84, the Rams need help at that position too. That was a really, really good pick by them. Next, 85, Colts took Julian Blackman, the safety out of Utah. He's okay. He might play a bit. Next, the Bills took Zach Moss, the running back from Utah. Zach Moss is very, very good out of Utah. The top 6 running backs in this class are all really good. Even top 7 are all really good. So this was a good pick for them. I don't know. I think it would have been better if they had taken a tall receiver, like I said in my mock draft, because Stephon Diggs is one of their tallest receivers at 6 foot tall. But still. Next, the Patriots took Anthony Jennings. I thought they would take a quarterback with this pick. I was a bit surprised about Anthony Jennings, but he's solid. 88, Browns took Jordan Elliott. Jordan Elliott is really good. This was a really good pick for them. 89, Vikings took Cameron Dantzler, the cornerback from Mississippi State. I was surprised that he was still on the board, and the Vikings really need help at cornerback, so that was an easy pick for them, I think. 90, the Texans took Jonathan Greenard. The Texans drafted really well, I think. Greenard here. I really like Greenard out of Florida, so I think he could be good for them. Next, the Patriots, again on the clock, and they took Devon Asiasi. I think that's how you pronounce it, but the tight end from UCLA. I think there was definitely some better tight ends. I don't think this was the best tight end to pick, but I think it made sense that they took a tight end, so yeah. Next, Ravens, Devon Duvernay. Finally, they get a receiver. I was happy to see that, and Duvernay's solid, so he should catch some passes from Lamar Jackson this season. Next, Darrington Evans, the running back from Appalachian State, went to the Titans. I was thinking they were going to take a running back to give the ball to when Derrick Henry gets tired, so that made sense. Next, the Packers, again, with, I don't think a very good pick, taking Joshua Deguara. I think this was a huge reach. I think they could have taken a tight end. There were other positions of need, but, really, the Packers didn't really fill any of their biggest positions of need, like wide receiver, offensive line, inside linebacker, even cornerback or defensive tackle. Tight end is a hole. They don't really have anyone that good, but Deguara isn't the best available. He's going to be mostly a blocking tight end for them, I assume. Next, the Broncos took Mcelveen, again, the defensive tackle from Arkansas. This was a good pick. The Broncos drafted really well. Next, the Chiefs took Lucas Niang. I was surprised that Niang fell to them, so this was an easy pick. But I just think that they should have taken secondary. They haven't taken secondary at this point in the draft, which I was a bit surprised by. 33, the Browns took linebacker Jacob Phillips. This was the first compensatory pick. The linebacker at LSU. I don't really like Jacob Phillips that much, but clearly the Browns did. They took him with this pick. Next pick, 98th overall, the Ravens took Malik Harrison. I like Harrison more than Phillips, the linebacker out of Ohio State. He's their second linebacker they took in the draft, but I still think he'll be good for them. Next, the Giants took Matt Pert, the tackle out of Connecticut. I like Matt Pert. I think this was a good pick. Next, the Raiders took Tanner Muse. I expect to start off Tanner Muse will be more of a special teamer until he really gets a chance to, actually play his real position safety. Next, the Patriots took another tight end in Dalton Keene. this was where I got confused because they took 2 tight ends. None of them were the best available, I think. They have bigger holes in the team, like wide receiver and quarterback. So I was a bit surprised, but it's an okay pick, I guess. 102, the Steelers took Alex Highsmith, the edge from Charlotte. Don't really know much about him, but from what I saw, he wasn't my favorite player in college. Next, my Philadelphia Eagles took Davian Taylor. I really like Taylor. I've watched more of his film after he was taken by the Eagles, and I really like him. He had like over 70 tackles this year. He only played for 2 seasons at Colorado, but the Eagles we need a linebacker. And Davian Taylor is really good, I think, from what I saw. He's a good tackler. Pick 104. The Rams took safety Terrell Burgess out of Utah. I really like Burgess. This was a good pick. I mean, I think there are some other positions of need for the Rams, like possibly interior offensive line, but still a good pick. Saints took Adam Troutman, which I was a bit surprised about, but not really because they have Jared Cook, but he's really old. Adam Troutman, some people might say he's the best tight end in this draft. I wouldn't agree, but I agree that he's very good. So this was a good pick. And then the final pick of the 3rd round was Tyra Phillips, the guard going from Mississippi State, going to the Baltimore Ravens. They really need to get more guards, and after Marshall Yonda left, they need a guard. And yeah, I mean, I think it was a bit late for a guard, but still, it was a good pick. So that is going to be it for the video. All the picks of the 2nd and 3rd round. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a video where I grade every team's draft, so make sure you are ready for that. So thank you for watching, and oh, by the way, don't forget to like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. But thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.